Welcome in, everyone. Welcome to my thrifted home. I'm kind of showcasing some of the things that I've thrifted at Wonderful Copper. Those wonderful frames actually came right out of the Goodwill. They're signed art. They were actually from a very fancy hotel here in Houston. They were signed as such in the back, and I've just found them in the corner at a Goodwill store. I kind of wanted to do a year in thrifting, but I wound up with a lot of footage, so you may likely get it in more like 6 parts. Let's talk a little bit about what I look for. Of course, I'm looking for purses, always looking for knickknacks and bric-a-brac and that kind of thing. Most of that does stay in my home. However, if I do find something sensational, something highly sought after, glass or sculpture or anything of that nature, I do definitely list it. I found this and I love it because it's reflective. I put it under a table to kind of bring in some light and keep those plants alive. I have plants all over the house and I have a pretty dark home. Cats, can we resist cats? I don't know. That one's gorgeous. I couldn't figure out what exactly it was, but I just loved it. And many of these things I just kind of show them to you so that you can see the kind of things that we find at our Goodwills and our thrift stores. I'm always looking through the basket section because I use baskets for decor. I use them for storage. I use them for plants, of course, and there's always that chance that we'll find a valuable Longenberger basket as well, though Goodwill is starting to find out a little bit about that too and pricing them accordingly. But keep looking. There's lots of things that go right through the cracks and we can score on them. Lots of bric-a-brac. What is that for? I don't even know. I thought you might know. Please leave it in the comments. It looked kind of like a waffle maker. She was admiring something in my basket. I don't even remember what it was. Depression glass. Of course, I picked that up. And especially for resale, I kind of stay away from a lot of big breakable things, but there are things in there that I just had to show you or that I have to chronicle in some way. It's kind of my little way of not spending so much. Books that sell. I think I brought a whole haul on the books that sell. I may start doing more book hauls. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to know a little bit more about what books that actually gain profit, and I'm talking 10 times your investment. That's really what we're looking for in books because they're pretty common. I love the Afghans, don't you? Love Americana. This is actually Desiree thrift store. I like this thrift store because it's not very expensive in some items, and I think there's a lot of things that can be discovered there. It's also a good place for me to record because they don't have loud music. But in this case, I decided to put it all together and bring it to you with a voiceover and some music. I hope you don't mind that. Please let me know in the comments what you think about some of these items. And if you know anything that we're looking at, often there's interesting things. I love when I see collections. Like you can see someone actually donated their entire collection. This one, what am I showcasing here? Oh, the candles. I love the fancy schmancy candles that, have you seen the price of these fancy candles? Some of them are in the hundreds, but always smell them. Sometimes they've gone rancid. You don't want to pick that up. But I did pick a lot of those up. And yeah, I was saying sometimes you'll see like a whole collection of elephants or salt and pepper shakers. I love when that happens. That's an artificial rock. I don't know why I even entertained that. I did pick up that brass. Try and guess what I did pick up. I picked up both of those beautiful brass items, and I think I picked up one of the candles and put it in the brass basket. Of course, there's always Christmas all year round in some of these stores. And I try to steer clear because I do have way too much Christmas, and I'm starting to kind of part it out and give it to my children. And I can't even. Half the garage is Christmas decor. But of course, if I do see a collectible mid-century, Yuletide something or the other, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to list it. I can't help myself. That was a heavy little iron, cast iron. It was very heavy. I love this little doll. I don't know why. I love that faceless face. Things like that. But again, when you're a collector, you just can't resist things. And I'm figuring out, and I was telling my husband, I'm chronicling some of these things in my short videos and in my YouTube long form videos and even in photographs, just so that I can kind of get that satiation of holding something and not necessarily bringing it back. Because when you find such unusual things and such beautiful things and quirky things and fun things, you really do want to pick it all up, and it's very easily crossing over to hoardership instead of, collectors, so, or reselling for that matter. So you have to be careful with that. But I do like chronicling the items that way. I think that really helps me in a lot of ways, and then sharing it as well, because then I get that kind of validation that this is what I found, this is what I see thrifting. Because in the first place, that's really why I started this YouTube channel, was to showcase my thrifting and to showcase the items that I find. And it just kind of turned into another enterprise with people wanting to buy what I would bring to a haul or jewelry that I would find and so forth. But honestly, it began with just wanting to show you what I find. Now here I mentioned reseller tip of the day, the plushies. People pass them up. This is a Douglas in January. Look at the selling prices on this. I don't know if you can see the Barney, but that one was, I think, $500. So don't pass up those plushies, but research them. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it so far. I really appreciate you being here. Look at that fantastic sofa. I think I may have showcased this sofa in a short, and I was thinking brocade, purple velvet, that soft pink as well. Is that not the most sensational sectional you've ever seen? Oh, I just adore it. I hadn't gotten rid of my sofa yet, so I wasn't in the market, but definitely something to look for is the furniture. I love looking at these books. This is a book about the Gilded Age and so forth, but look at that jewelry. Of course, I picked it up. I cannot resist those picture coffee table books. They're just amazing. They also do sell, so check those listings. And don't just check Amazon. Books sell very, very well on eBay. Don't forget, eBay is the marketplace. So check all of that. And back to the Goodwill, here I go. So as I was saying about books, definitely look for obsolete media in books. Look for recordings in tapes and DVDs, things like Teach Me French, learning Spanish, that kind of thing. That sells as well. As far as general nonfiction, that's what you want to look for. Fiction does not sell well at all, but your nonfiction books like textbooks, obscure cookbooks from maybe famous restaurants that have since shut down, that kind of thing does sell. Martha Stewart does not sell that well in hardcover books, but if you ever find her early magazines, they definitely sell. I have a very early magazine of hers that sold quite a bit, I think over $100, and they're still selling. Look at this one for $120. That is her baby line of magazines for babies. And don't do celebrities as well. That's just, I don't know, celebrities are kind of waning as far as anything like that. Now, of course, if you found anything from the 80s and 70s, maybe that kind of thing might do. I have sold quite a few of those highlighter books that highlight, the artist of the 70s, the eras that are more avant-garde and more interesting in that way. Maybe even art books of that nature would sell. Here's one in German cooking. Again, you often see Chinese, you see Mexican, you don't see German cooking. So I would definitely have researched that kind of a thing. Those are quite interesting. And you do see people scanning. They have professional scanners for book scanners. Now they can go and see all kinds of things as far as the ranking of the books and all of that. But I don't go that deep into it. I just kind of have an innate sense of what type of book will sell and what kind of book is unique or rare. Of course, the Pyrex. Yes, I always need Pyrex cups. I'm always looking for art as well. I just enjoy this section so much. Amateur art is one thing I like. I also look for sign prints, that kind of thing. I don't mind a Hobby Lobby mass produced thing either. I think they're fun and they have their place. And I don't buy them all for myself, of course, but if I find something that I think is interesting, or if I find even something like, a Velvet Elvis, of course, or the Velvet Bullfighter, those are kitsch that sell. I really like this particular Christmas one. I don't remember if I bought it or not. I really liked it because it was black and white and it just had that one red cardinal. That's a nice charcoal there, or whatever that is, that sketch. Beautiful. It was also signed. And this one I took only for the frame. It had a wonderful saying, but I love the frame. And of course, everyone's doing the gallery art themes these days. So I just thought I'd show you that, because those samplers, that's what people are actually picking up on eBay. 80s art is back. That peach and that pastel of the 80s, people are buying that as well. Back to another Goodwill. This is another favorite. Still looking through the Christmas things. Once in a while I'll see something interesting. I did like those stockings, but there was only, I think, 2, and I need 3 if I wanted to get them for my grandkids. So I left that behind. This was, I believe, a Pottery Barn. Beautiful little ballerina in that box, and it was quite heavy, and the little girl even added her own stickers. Of course, I looked through the racks. Now, these racks are just coming out. In that particular Goodwill, they always put the fresh merchandise right in the front, so everybody kind of gravitates towards it. The Santa says, no, don't take me home. Please leave me. You do not need me. But I did pick up some nice pieces here. For myself, that heart hoodie went to my granddaughter. And this is something I just wanted you to see, that's the kind of clothing, if you're a lister, you want to get those ones right off the rack, right and fresh. Still looking through those books, those music books. Oh, there's an Oscar Wilde. Who doesn't need that? And you just never know what's going to come out of those fresh crates coming right out of the back. The plushies, yes, yes, yes. Look through the plushies. Yes, I want leopard. Yes, I want that black long coat with that incredible sparkle. Look at those pockets. I loved this duster coat, but it was so small. I think it was a 5 or a 3. Did you see those muffs on that fantastic Saks Fifth Avenue? Just everything is in here. You wonder, oh my gosh, if only I had the room. I really need an entire home. I left that Lily Pulitzer because it was for Target. That's a Graham, Robert Graham, I think it is. You want that. Plaid always, Land's End always. Red velvet, we're thinking Renaissance, we're thinking costume, we're thinking keywords here. Keep these keywords in mind if you sell on eBay. Yes, I picked up those pink glasses. We looked at a lot of jewelry here. Sometimes it's a little high, so I don't pick it all up, but I did want you to take a look at it. Look at that thing. That was really unusual. I don't know why I didn't buy it. They must have wanted too much for it. I do think I picked that one up. I don't recall. Copper. Love it. Tapestry bags. Yes, please. Yes, please. Okay. What is that? A teapot. It's Japanese here. I love it. I just wish I had more room for all these beautiful things, but like I said, when I chronicled them here, I love those African shopping bags. Love copper. Pick up the copper. I haven't shown you all of my copper collection. I have a lot of copper in the kitchen, and my daughter has started to collect it as well, so I'm always on the hunt for that. Of course, I peruse the toy area. I left the mannequin after all. She was a little heavy. Picked up that pink dress. Yes, napkins. 99-cent napkins. Always need them. That was an all leather. I love that hand. I collect hands. That one says, okay, how can you leave that behind? These were signed angels. Look at that heart. Nice heavy paperweight. Oh my gosh, don't I love the bookends. I can hoard those too, but they always price them separately, so I left that one behind. Should have gotten it though. I think I picked up some of those battery operated candles too. Those are fun, especially at Christmas, and I don't have to worry about burning down the house. Canisters. I can't resist the canisters either, but I don't think I've ever bought any. I think I have copper canisters, and I've turned them into pots for my plants. And often they're very expensive, even those tiny ones. But here I am at another thrift store. This is Value Village, or is it Family Thrift? No, this is Family Thrift. And again, looking at the decor, because I'm constantly falling in love with different genres, different styles of decor, and that's why my house is a hodgepodge of whatever. Pyrex, love Pyrex. I love cooking on with it, storing it, just needed the lids. This was Princess House. Do you guys remember Princess House? I love those tiny little toddy cups, but I didn't take them. Artificial plants, I don't really do them, but that was a cute one. I don't like artificial plants, and of course I looked through the books. I did like that little olive oil dish thing. That was cute. Now we're heading into the electronics section. I don't hesitate to pick up a monitor or something I may need. I've had really good luck with them, so I don't discourage you, but sometimes you risk it if you don't mind. Some places do have returns. Make sure you find out about that. Look at this fantastic Lazy Susan. I think I saw 2 there, but I was thinking I could use it in my pantry, and then I figured it was probably not wide enough. I don't have a very big pantry, and those are great to store in your pantry, but I'm thinking now maybe I could have put plants on it. Oh my gosh, everything is for plants. That's a really pretty silver plate, I believe. I thought that was really nice, but I didn't pick that up either. This place has fairly good selections of everything, and you really have to take a look because some things are a little expensive and some are not. And there's always that hidden treasure. There's that other Lazy Susan. That one was kind of big. What is this for? I don't know. I was still trying to figure that out. I don't know if it's for maybe clipping pictures on it. Let me know in the comments if you know. I believe that's a Jim Shore. Yeah. And I was saying in the video, you should look for Jim Shore, of course, very collectible, but some of his rare things like jewelry, very, very collectible. So it's very rare. I don't think they sold it for very long, or maybe, I don't know, maybe they're just obscure. But do look for that. I had a Christmas Jim Shore that sold for, it was a bangle, a little Christmas. It was a Santa that basically went all around the bangle. And that sells for over $100. Look it up on eBay for comps. But when I sold it, that's what it was going for. And I think that's for fudge. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, here's another piece that I may or may not have showed you before. I don't know if I made a additional short on this one or not. But that was going for a pretty good penny on eBay. But again, I have to think of the shipping. So I declined to list it because sometimes the shipping can get pretty hairy. And I was talking here about these little style heads. This is really, really something you want to look out for. But you want to look for Barbie. That is Ariel, I believe, because look at this one, $70. I've sold some. I think I got $100 for my Barbie, but she even had lashes. She had like real lashes. Tupperware, lots of Tupperware, sells really well. Check your comps always, because not all Tupperware does. Ray Dunn. Okay, we've all seen that sensation. I thought it was done and over. Look at the prices Ray Dunn is getting. But that's one plate for $800. Again, look for rarity though. These are Queen Bee. I don't know. And yet this one only got $7 for all the mugs. So you just never know. And you can never trust all of eBay. Look for solds. Look for whether it was an auction. And look for rarity. That is what is selling. And don't make assumptions. I actually read an article that Ray Dunn was done. But obviously Ray Dunn is not done. Let's do Ray Dunn. Absolutely. You just never know. These little plates, again, check them. I check comps on them. Many people collect them, but they don't really go for much. I have not found one that was even worth listing, but I do love them, even though I don't use them. But I'm taking pictures of them just to chronicle them. I don't think I've ever bought one. I like the plates that I can use. I don't really buy the ones that are for hanging. Aren't those fantastic? The crystal in this store is so unbelievable. I wish I knew more about crystal. There's a lot of people here on YouTube. A lady, somebody, I'll have to list her channel. She's actually a fellow Texan. I think she actually lives in Houston. And she is an absolute encyclopedia when it comes to crystal. She actually worked for one of the big companies. And I'm trying to watch more of her channel because she really knows her crystal. And I just love it. I think crystal is just such a beautiful thing just to have in your home. But I don't know very much about it. Look at that fabulous cup. It looks like something from the UN or something. It's got these world flags all around it. Finally, the jewelry counter. This place does price their sterling accordingly. Sometimes you can still get some bargains on some things, but they do command a high price on their sterling. They do scrutinize it. They used to do jewelry bags. They do occasionally still do them, but not very often. And like I said, even some of their kind of common costume jewelry is still pretty high. I did pick up this all bangle bag, and I found some great things in there. I more than tripled my money on this particular bag. I sometimes hesitate when it's kind of concentrated on one thing, but I was glad I got that one. And we're back at the Goodwill, back at the jewelry counter at Goodwill. Look at that. This was some kind of a light, or there it is, LED mood light. I kind of wish I had gotten that, but I didn't. But I do love this Goodwill. They often have a lot of jewelry, but I have been told that the jewelry is kind of taken from store to store. So if one store has a lot of jewelry, that another store will ask for some. So it's very interesting about the jewelry. Oh, here's a beautiful frame. And it found a home in my home. Not as nice as that oil that I found years ago for $5, but I did put it there in my home and I love it. Copper, yes, to the copper always. This one I picked up as well. It's in my bar. I love it. I think that's also a little paperweight. Didn't pick it up, but I thought it was interesting. And yes, that one is in my home. But there it is sitting by the lamp. I just love it. It's next to actually I use that little tree for jewelry sometimes. And at this time, we're back at, this one is Value Village, I think this is Value Village. And I was looking for a light fixture, but I didn't find one after all. I left that one. And I really should have got it. I love it, but I wound up finding some other one. Okay, here's the big collection of elephants that I was talking about. In this store, someone donated their entire collection of elephants, and I did pick up a few things. I love the gnomes. I didn't buy that Santa, though. That was actually, I think, rhodochrosite or some kind of gemstone, but it had a broken tusk. These were so cute. I think they were Disney, if I'm not mistaken, or they were kind of a little homage to Dumbo or something. They were so cute. Yes, that beautiful elephant found a place in my home. On that's actually a picture frame. So here's another tip. Use your picture frames for trays. They make sensational trays. Nighttime at the Goodwill. What did we find? Oh, I found that fantastic Easter bunny, which my granddaughter adored. I actually bought like 2 or 3, and I told her to choose one, which was a stupid thing to say because she took them all. They were all fantastic. I love that mail bag. Wasn't that cute? Here are some bags that I kind of perused, but always know that there are some counterfeits out there. Vera Bradley has met that demise. I really have to look at them closely. The lightweight ones are usually the ones that are fake, so stay clear. And Vera Bradley does not sell anymore as well as it used to when it first hit the market, unless, of course, it's a very rare design. Here I am back at Texas Thrift, looking at those mini bags. Remember, we opened those just the other day. I hope you've enjoyed the video so far. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. It's always free. I always find good things here because these bags are, I don't think, more than $5. And believe it or not, they're kind of a surprise. Sometimes they pack 2 or 3 bags into one, 2 or 3 things into one bag. So they wind up with a little bit of element of surprise. So don't forget to watch my jewelry unbaggings. I do the mini bags as well. Those are coming soon. There's going to be a part 2 to this video, maybe even a part 3 or 4, because I have over hours and hours of footage from thrifting in 2023. That's what I'm going to entitle this series. So come back very, very soon to watch part 2 as we thrift all of Houston, all my favorite haunts where I find jewelry to keep and share and resell, where I can satiate my hoarding tendencies by reselling, and you can do the same thing. Stay tuned for more tips on profiting with what you find thrifting. That's a gemstone there. Those were some beautiful milk glass with, I believe, garnet beads. So you just never know what you can pick up thrifting, not to mention the genuine precious metals, precious gems that have been found at these places, especially in my jewelry jars. So please follow me here by subscribing, hitting that notification bell, and stay tuned for my next video. That will be in your feed if you subscribe and hit the notification bell. I love the glass bangles. Aren't those beautiful? Plus, I'm always looking for that elusive bakelite. I just know I'm going to find some one day. I have before. There's Amazonite right there. I've tend to recognize that one now, and I do love that cherry red as well. Always love those vintage pieces, and again, they are often buried with what we think might be junk. There's amber. Amber for what was that? $5, $4.99. That was a beautiful piece. That has since sold. Yes, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. I was actually doing the thumb because I had found the amber. But again, through the trash, there is treasure. Don't forget to thrift along with me. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.